playing 3 holes. I'm gonna try to make 3 birdies. Got pretty short holes. This hole's only playing 277 to the pin. However, because of the distance being that short, for me to hit driver, I'll leave myself in a very awkward distance, so I ended up hitting a 7 wood off the tee, putting myself in a better position to attack the pin rather than leaving myself an awkward chip.
For this second shot, after laying up with the 7 wood, I had 90 yards, playing about 92 yards to this pin. So I'm going for 54-degree wedge here. I can see that the ball is pretty above my feet, so I know that it's going to play a little bit of a draw. However, you can tell that there's a bunker on the right side, and you don't really want to go too far right because the carry is a bit longer, and I generally find that putting from the right to the left of this hole is a little bit more difficult. I was aiming to kind of finish it just about 3 yards left of the pin. Ended up pulling it a little bit. It drew more than I would have liked it to, so left myself about a 15-footer here left for birdie.
$290 par 4. So when it comes to playing a hole strategically, you're almost always playing the hole backwards. So these 2 par 4s that we're playing are pretty short. Of course, I'm counting it straight distance. So every time I'm not going for the pin, it's going to be playing longer than that, because like on this hole, there's 2 fairways. So if you take a direct line to the pin, it was like 290. So if you don't, and obviously you're going to kind of take a longer route. So one of the most important things is you're always playing these holes backwards. So what I mean by that is you're playing it from the green to the tee instead of from the tee to the green. Because like I can tell like it's 290. So if I hit a 250-yard tee shot, I'm probably going to have, well, like I said, it's not a straight line. I didn't take the right fairway. So I know with the left fairway, it's probably going to add about 20 yards. So I'm probably going to have about 70 yards to the pin. So knowing this kind of helps you plan, like if you don't like a 70-yard distance, obviously don't hit a driver, hit something like a 3 wood that's going to give you a little bit further of a distance, which is kind of what I did in the previous hole. Although obviously I was on a bit of a slope and I didn't hit a good approach shot, it was still a reasonable distance to the hole and still gave me a pretty good look at birdie. Fortunately, greens are playing pretty slow, so I didn't putt it hard enough. But it also took away the risk of me hitting it in the water, as well as giving me a good look at birdie. So I feel like that is a win-win. So
for my approach shot here, I had right around 72 yards, playing about 74 yards. So it's not a full 58-degree wedge for me, so I've kind of got to hit a little bit more of a controlled one. And I'm really sorry about the blurring system. I kind of have to figure out how to not make it like blur, because I think it's trying to focus, the camera is trying to focus on me, so whenever I stand really close, it focuses on me, and that's why the background gets blur. So I'm really sorry about the blur images, guys. I will try to get that fixed soon, but hopefully once I do, we'll get some really nice looking shots out here.
So with how slow the greens are, I thought of taking a straighter line for the putt, and it just broke. So we're on hole 3 of our supposed birdie challenge. Today we're playing it pretty short as well because of the green conditions. They just push the tee boxes forward because the greens are playing pretty rough, as you can tell. So we're playing this par 5 right around 514 meters, which is like 550, 60 yards. I mean, it's still not short. It's a long par 5, but it's definitely a good chance to finish with a birdie. Of course, for a par 5, most of the time, unless it's a really short par 5, you don't really play it backwards. You usually try to get it out there as far as you possibly can, and then you can kind of play it backwards from there. But generally, I would say most holes are played backwards. So if you don't play it backwards, maybe try that and see if it changes your perspective on any holes that maybe you've been playing for a long time and somehow you just see it differently now when you play it backwards. I think it's also important to remember that just because you play a hole backwards doesn't mean that you're gonna start using any different clubs. I mean, most people need driver on most holes anyway. I think the biggest difference is, let's say you're anticipating having to hit an 80-yard approach shot into the green, and then you go up to your second shot and you've got 80 yards to the pin. You've kind of already anticipate that and you kind of are prepared to hit that shot versus just simply like whacking it and not having any idea what you're going to do next. Kind of prepares you for the next shot that you're going to hit. So like for that second shot, I basically hit everything that I had. I had a 3-wood, but then I was on a downhill lie, so I knew that I was not going to be able to get that very far. So I kind of know what kind of distances I'm going to have into this green. Also, like after the second shot, I can obviously tell that it's the pins all the way behind. From the tee box, I couldn't really tell because it's a par 5. But yeah, it kind of helps you anticipate what kind of clubs you're going to be hitting into the greens as well. So yeah, enough yammering. Let's try to stick this close because it seems like you need to stick it close to make a birdie today. So got 1-1-2 playing 1-1-5 to the pin. That was a mental error because I knew over the ball that I was aiming too far right for the downhill slope that I was on, and I didn't want to change. But an unlikely birdie chance. How I cut it. 3 pars, no birdies. But I hope you guys learned something and we'll try again next time.